Good morning children. Welcome back to my channel. This is my fourth video where I am going to explain the third part of the lesson. In the previous video, I already explained second part of the lesson. On the basis of that explanation, I am going to ask two questions. And one more thing I would like to add here children, I am very pleased with your response to my third video, and you all my instruction you followed very sincerely. Thank you so much children for that, and keep going like this only. Now let's come for the question answer section. On the basis of second part explanation, I would like to ask two questions. Note it down. First question is, which game Germans and Britishers played in the middle of the land? Yes, this is the first question. Which game Germans and Britishers played in the middle of the land? Second question, what jobs did Hans Wolf and Jim McPherson have when they were not soldiers? Yes, this is the second question. What jobs did Hans Wolf and Jim McPherson have when they were not soldiers? These are the two questions which you are supposed to answer me in the comment section. Now let's move for the explanation of third part. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I drove into Bridport, just a few miles away. I asked a boy, walking his dog, where Copper Beaches was. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burned out shell. The roof gaping, the window boarded up. I knocked at the house next door and asking if anyone knew the whereabouts of Mrs. McPherson. Children, here the third part started like this. After completion of the letter reading, Michael, narrator, has folded the letter and he very carefully kept it back in its envelope. And the complete night, he was awake. He could not sleep. And when he woke up in the morning, he knew that what he can do now, what he have to do now. After that, he started to drive to the Bridport. Yes, children, and the place was few miles away. And when he reached to 12 Copper Beaches, there he saw a boy who was walking with his dog. And he shown the house of Mrs. McPherson. When he saw the house, it wasn't a house, children. It has turned into a burnt shell. And roof gapping, there was a gap in the roof, and the windows were completely destroyed. And the next door, he went to ask about the Mrs. McPherson. So now listen the reply of the neighbor. Oh, yes, said the old man in his slippers. He knew her well, a lovely lady, and he told me a bit muddled-headed. But at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? 101 years old. She had been in the house when it caught fire. No one really knew how the fire had started, but it could well have been candles. She used candles rather than electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in a nursing home now, he told me. Burlington House on the Dorchester Road on the other side of town. Yes, children. When he asked the neighbor about Mrs. McPherson, the neighbor was knowing the Coney very well, and he said many things about the Coney. According to him, the Coney was muddle headed in a sense, the lady in confusion, confused lady, not girl also, confused woman, and she was living there from 101 years old. Yes, the lady was 101-year old, very important children. The lady was 101-year old, and she was living in that house from that time itself. And now the that accident was happened because of the candles. That lady was poor as well. This is also one more reason to not afford the electricity bill. Because of electricity bill, she used to use candles. Because of the candles, this accident has happened, and however finally fireman has saved the Coney, and now she was in a nursing home. It was in Burlington House, and it was Dorchester, on the other side of town. I hope you understand this para. We will move for children. Move for the next para. I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. There were paper chains up in the hallway, and lighted Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angle on top. Finally, when he got the address of Mrs. Macpherson, he reached there. What was the address? The address was Burlington House, which was on the road of Dorchester, other side of town. Finally, he reached there without any trouble, and it was near also. When he reached there, he saw the decoration in the nursing home. When he entered, there he saw Christmas tree. Yes, children, Christmas tree, which stood in the corner with the loop-sided angle on top, with lot of decoration. I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. I could see through into the dining room, where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. When he reached there, he went on to the receptionist, and he introduced himself as a friend of Mrs. Macpherson. He said that I am friend of Mrs. Macpherson. I want to meet her, and I want to give her a present, Christmas present. When he was talking, he can see very easily through dining room that inside everybody was dancing and enjoying by wearing the paper hat. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. Yes, children, the matron receptionist, we can consider it. She was too happy by seeing this narrator, and she was also wearing a paper hat. She even offered me a mince pie. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is not in with the others, she told me. She is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a good rest. When as he observed the happiness in the face of Martin, she said that she was wearing hat, and she also offered a mince pie, a kind of a dessert sweet. And she started to walk with him along the corridor. And while walking, she said that Mrs. Macpherson is not in with others. She is not with them who are enjoying inside, who are singing. She is little bit confused today, so we thought of giving rest to her, she said to narrator. And she also added here, she will be too happy by seeing you. Why? Because she was not having any family friend, and nobody has visited her here in the house to ask her health. So she will be too much happy today by seeing you. She added this, and she said it to the narrator. Next, she took me into a conservatory with wicker chairs and potted plants all around and left me. She has taken the narrator to the room of Mrs. Macpherson, and there she left him and she went away. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. When he entered the room, there the narrator has seen the Mrs. Macpherson and he started to describe her. She was sitting in a wheelchair and her hands were folded in her lap. She was having silver hair. Those hairs were fixed, pined in a sense, fixed into a high bun. And she was gazing out the garden. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. When the narrator entered the room, Mrs. Coney was gazing, looking at the garden through the window. He approached here. He said, hello. I said in a sense, narrator, Michael Mupogo. He said, when he said hello, she turned towards the narrator and she started looking with the empty mind, blank mind. Happy Christmas, Coney, I went on. I found this. I think it's yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. Yes, children, when she turned out to the narrator, then narrator said that Happy Christmas to Mrs. Coney. And also he said here, I found something for you. Maybe it's yours. When he was talking to Mrs. Coney face, when he was talking to Mrs. Coney, her eyes was not leaving the face of Michael Mupogo. Constantly she was gazing at narrator. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face became suffused with the sudden glow of happiness. When he observed that she was looking at him very constantly, he opened the tin box and he handed over it to the Coney. And that was the moment when he saw the sudden changes in face of the Mrs. Coney. Suddenly the face has become the brighter and gloomy and it was started to glow with the happiness. I explained about the desk, about how I had found it, but I don't think she was listening. Yes, children, when he handed over it, he explained all the things how he found the letter. But he said also here that I don't think so she was listening to me. Why? Because the lady was constantly looking at to the Michael Mupogo. Then also he said everything about the letter, how he found the letter, how he found the desk, everything. For a while, she said nothing but stroked the letter tenderly with fingertips. Yes, children, for a moment, she did not speak anything. She did not speak to narrator. She was silent for a moment. Then she kept that letter tenderly, very nicely aside. After that, suddenly she reached out and took my hands. Her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you would come home by Christmas, dearest, she said, and here you are the best Christmas present in the world. Come close, Jim dear, sit down. Now it is very, very, very interesting, children. Climax and the end of the lesson. When she got the letter from narrator, children, she thought the narrator was a Jim, husband of hers. Yes. She took his hands. She went little bit closer to him, and she said, "Come closer to me." She has taken the hands, and her eyes. He can see that her eyes were filled with the tears. She was too happy. You told me you will come back to home by Christmas, dearest, she said here. She is talking to the narrator as if he was a Jim. And also she added that, here, you are my world, you are the best Christmas present in the world to me. Come closer to me, sit down. Then the narrator has sat beside of her and she kissed my cheek. Read your letter so often, Jim, every day. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. When he sat down, she said that she has taken her hands and she kissed on his cheeks, and she said to him only to read the letter, and she also said that she was wanting to listen his voice every day. It always made me feel you were with me. I always thought that you were with me. You are not so far with me. And now you are. Now finally you are already with me. Now you are back. You can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? I just want to hear your voice. When he sat down beside of her, she started to talk with him as he was a Jim McPherson, his husband, but actually he was not, and he too not interrupted her. He was listening the words of a Connie. When he sat down, Connie wished her to narrator that to read that letter. Yourself you read your letter. I want to listen your voice. I am very happy to see you again. I am very happy that you are with me now. She said, and she also asked that, will you please read for me? I just want to hear your voice. Next, I would love that so much. If you are doing it, then I would love too much. And then perhaps we will have some tea. I have made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan around. I knew how much you love marzipan. Marzipan is a word, it is a kind of desert it is a kind of desert. So she said that, will you please read a letter for me? I will prepare tea for you, and we will have, I also prepared nice cake, which taste you want. The dessert is marzipan. That one I prepared for you. We will have it afterwards. This is the complete explanation of the lesson. Yes, children, the best present in the world is Jim McPherson, as she thought, who has given the letter. For lady, the world best Christmas present is the Jim, the narrator. When he here, the narrator was little bit confused, but he don't want to stop her, and he don't want to take her happiness. At that moment, he stopped himself and he started to listen the words of the Connie. She, as you know, that she was old lady. She is confused lady also. So he did not interrupt her, and he did not said anything to her. So I hope you all understand the lesson, and this is complete idea, complete explanation of the lesson. And this is the last video of this lesson, and very soon I'll upload one more video of poem. Thank you so much, children. And I will also upload the PDF of question answer. You have to write it in your classwork. Take a new notebook and write it in your classwork with the new words, list of the new words, and complete it very soon. Thank you so much, children. Thank you so much for watching my video. Goodbye, children.